In this video, I'll walk through how to either mark or pierce a point. It's a question that comes up frequently. So if we wanted to basically pierce points in the middle of these circles, and we're going to come back and drill these out later, we can first of all CAD tab, draw submenu, point command here, and down at the bottom prompts us specify point, and I'm just going to right click and choose center of that. Could keep doing that for the rest of them. I'm going to use the array command to array that around there. Select object, click on that, hit enter, and pick the center of this to array these around. And there's 8 objects going around 360 degrees, and we've got our points there. And I'm also going to draw in a line here that we're just going to do regular marking on. So once we got that, cam tab, I've already selected my material and thickness, and click on OK. Create, drag a box around the part, hit enter. For the line that we're going to mark and those points, we want to do other objects. You can just drag a box around everything again. It's going to get what it didn't get the first time, hit enter, and then they'll show up here in our preview. And we'll click OK. Two ways of doing this. You can either use the marking command, or on the toolpath submenu there's this holes option. First we'll take a look at the marking command. So start the marking command, we're doing water jet marking, connecting to part, and if I do multi, I can drag a box around all this, highlights in yellow all of those other objects that it found, hit enter, and it'll put the marking on there. And then if we go into the process submenu, actually let's put a couple toolpaths on there for the ID and the OD. We'll just do single. And then depending on what you've got set for your marking pressure and marking abrasive flow rate, that'll determine whether the pump's going to go into low pressure for this marking and how much abrasive it's going to use. If we want to check that, you can go into your material, click on the little edit button here, and if you go top level of your material, AWJ tab, we've got our marking area. So right now we're going to be doing the marking with abrasive. If I uncheck these and if I plug in a number here, depending on how your pump works, in this case with most of the pumps that we use, that we'll put a code in there that'll tell the pump to go into low pressure. So as long as I've unchecked that box, it'll put that code in there. And then if I uncheck this, depending on the mini hopper that we have, it'll either automatically change the RPM of the wheel in the mini hopper, or it'll put M00 into the program so the operator knows to change the abrasive amount. Down here we've got the point marking delay. So there's 2 delays that it can use for the marking. So the points, it's going to use the point marking delay, and then for that line that we had on here, it is going to use, if we go into your machine, at the start of that, it's going to use that. So after the water and the abrasive turn on, in this case there'll be a 1/4 second pause before it starts to move for that line. So we're going to take a look at this. So here, because we told it that we're going to be doing the marking at a different pressure, puts our code in there, tell the pump to go into low pressure. We've got delay for the pump to go into low pressure. The way I've got the machine set up right now, it'll automatically adjust the abrasive flow for the lower pressure, and then it's going to wrap it over to this first point. We've got our water and abrasive turning on, and then we've got our 1 second point marking delay there, water and abrasive off, and then continue on like that. And then you'll see when it gets to that line, so the line uses that other delay, that 1/4 second delay that I showed you in the machine settings, and then it'll go back to the 1 second delay for those other pierce points. And then once it's done with all that, then in this case the pump goes up into high pressure. Mini hopper adjusts the abrasive flow for the high pressure and goes back and cuts the ID and the OD. Now if we just want to mark those at full pressure with full abrasive amounts, we would just go back into our material, again top level, and then we check these boxes, and then everything will be done at high pressure. Still have the 1 second delay, 1 second delay, quarter second delay on the line, etc., but no changes in pressure or abrasive. So that's the one way to do it. The other way, let's go back, put these back to where I had this. And let's just go ahead and explode this and redo this. Other objects. The other way to do that is toolpath submenu and then holes command. Various things that you can do under this command here. And in this pull down, we'll use the stationary option. So basically do a stationary pierce at each of those points. And can click on OK. Down at the bottom, it's going to prompt you for filter, or if you hit enter, there'll be no filter and you'd have to individually click on each of those points. If we want to basically filter on a particular thing like a point, as I hover near one of these points, I can click on it, and then if I drag a box around here, it's going to find all those same points, and we'll add the toolpath onto that. Of course, for this we were going to mark that, so we'll go back and put our marking on that. We'll just do the single command there, and then we'll do our IDOD again. So now these pierce points are going to use the stationary piercing delay. If you go into your material again, and this time this is per thickness on our 1/8 inch aluminum, go to the piercings tab. That's what it's going to use for the delay for the pierce point there. So we've got our pressure change for that one line that we're marking, and then back up to high pressure, and then here we've got that pierce with that 3 second delay, and it'll do all those and then continue on with the cutting after that. So those are two ways that you can pierce points. If you have any questions, let us know. Thanks.